All right. To give you an update on how everything's coming along, well, first, let's turn off the world's noisiest air conditioner. Yeah, the world's noisiest air conditioner. Then I have a cranking air into the living room, and there's a portable all the way at the other end of the couch. But this video is more of a vlog style video, and I've gotten this far with setting up the office area. And just a quick recap, this room originally was going to have a much larger desk, and I've well documented that whole train wreck debacle. But what I ultimately did, and as of this recording, the desk still exists, but it's heading out. I took the L-shaped part of the desk, which was never really actually attached, and made a little printer area for it. So that actually kind of worked out well. This white desk was at the condo location, and originally I pulled it out of here because I thought the big desk would fit in the doorway here, but really, that's definitely too narrow. That's also too narrow. So that didn't work, despite even trying to take it apart. So this white desk that was at the condo location was going to be repurposed here because there's renters over there. And so I'm going to, for now, use it as my main working desk. Little on the smaller side for like an everyday desk for work, but that's what we got. That's what we're gonna do. Chair goes with that big desk, but I'm gonna keep it here because it's fine. It's a very comfortable chair as it looks. So really what comes down to here, I had this room full, the perimeter of this room full of boxes, and mainly it's a combination of really items from 3 other locations. The condo location, which I had a temporary setup. The Midwest location, which was a pretty permanent setup because that was where my work residence was until I switched occupations and I dissolved that location, so I got that. And then stuff from the main location, because this will serve as my main location. And at some point when we're done setting up, we'll stop calling it, we'll call this the main location, not the new location. But so I consolidated things, and a lot of stuff had to fall into place because there's things in here that belong in a basement. And 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't putting anything down in the basement because it needed a thorough cleaning. It's an unfinished basement. Check out that video. That was a Sunday afternoon project for Eddie and I. We got it all done. It's dry down there. It doesn't smell any longer. So I was able to take several milk crates and start to consolidate things. Like I had a bunch of indoor extension cords, a bunch of power strips. So I was able to kind of segment those. Hold on a second. Alexa, off. I was listening to music and I don't want to get nailed with the copyright in the background. Hopefully it didn't really pick up through here. So that got that stuff out of this room, right? So now it's downstairs on a shelf and organized, kind of like how I had it in the other location. That leads me to like duplicates, triplicates, quadruple of certain items. For example, we'll just go around the room. I have actually 3 monitors, 2 here. One's pretty old, the one on the right. And then the one on the left is pretty good. And then I have this like really nice one that came from my last, all these except for 2 of the 3 came from my last work. They didn't want them back. So I'm probably going to either on this desk probably do a single monitor setup. I don't think it's big enough to do a 2 monitor setup, so I'll just use the biggest monitor. And then one of these others, I'll probably set up a makeshift desk somewhere like in the basement or something for just, whatever, doing other stuff. I wanted to set up another set of speakers to go with that makeshift backup setup. One of those little hubs or docking stations. That's a really good one, by the way. I have like a bunch of different ones. So that's that. I just got to add a keyboard, which will take us to the keyboards So this is the pile of keyboards. In here, I have 2 corded keyboards. The one at the very bottom, you might be able to see it sticking out. That white one, or it was white, it's now yellow. I've had since, the newest is possibly is the early 2000s, the oldest is late 90s. That's like my main keyboard, I love it. Then I have a wired keyboard, which is actually on top here. It's Dell, which I like too. And you can, the white one's so old, I have to have a serial to USB adapter for it to work. And I think this black one is the same way. Then I have a pile of wireless ones that in my last job, when you asked for a wireless mouse, they gave you like the combo. And I'm like, I don't need a keyboard. So I have the little, and some of the mice over time, they break, they get lost or whatever, they get used. So then you keep the little USB plug, but you don't know which one goes to what keyboard. So I may have keyboards here that I don't have a thing for. So I have to go through them, and then I don't even know what to do with them because I'm gonna use both of the wired ones, and then maybe keep one wireless one and just get rid of the rest, so we don't need all this stuff. So that's kind of what's on the floor. Not bad. That's just some miscellaneous personal item papers. This is kind of like a few notebooks, some documentation that is just in that box for now until I need to get like a shelf or a cabinet in here, probably some type of little cabinet for the other corner, like that corner right there. So that's no problem, that's organized. The Lasco Fiasco, this was, I did a video on this. You can go check it out, and I tell the story. It's kind of funny, but the one on the left, thermal fuse, dead. This one's to replace it. I didn't buy the replacement. I didn't break the thermal fuse, but anyway, I didn't want the replacement, but the person who broke the thermal fuse felt bad, got me another one anyway, so here we go. So that has to go, that will leave this room at some point. This stuff needs to go on the wall. That's the vacation location, which is coming. Actually, by the time this airs, I probably would have been back from the vacation location, which will be sad for me to go back and look at the video because part of the fun is the anticipation, right? So this is stuff that needs to go on a wall, bulletin board. This is a dry erase board, some random cool pictures. That is an amusement place from the vacation location, which is very close. They're right next to each other. So that's that. I can show you the printer station. Did a video on this giant Canon, and ultimately in that video I was kind of like, do I keep it? Do I sell it? Do I keep it? Ultimately I decided to keep it. It's connected wirelessly. It actually is really nice. Cost was right, $0. So keeping that, and it was brand new out of the box. Some empty binders, mouse pads, which I'll figure out which one I would use on the desk there. And then this bottom rung down here, believe it or not, that's just all scrap paper. I use both sides of paper, so like if whatever, I have work papers or whatever, I just take them, if I'm done with them, flip them over and use the backside for like notes and stuff and scratch, and then I recycle it. So just some random things up here, because I don't have, well, I guess I could use my top desk drawer, but I know this stuff would roll around, the markers and pens, so I'll just leave that there for now. So the majority of the mess, well, there's the docking station for my work laptop. There is well, this is kind of cool. I did a video on this a long time ago. I was in a thrift store or a Goodwill store. And this is one of those like portable screens. See the lady in the picture, she's walking through a screen. I've lived at places where I wish I had one of these, and at the time when I got this for $2, I didn't need it, but I knew I'd be somewhere that would need it. The garage here at this location, which that's where this really belongs, has an entry door in the back of it. And what I can do is potentially leave the door open into the kitchen and put that screen up so it's another source of air moving through. Just a thought. All right, so really the bulk of my organization is this junk right here. Like I have a bunch of mice wired, cordless. I'm gonna keep the wired ones. And I gotta go through and try to match the wireless ones with the wireless keyboards. And I tell you, something like that almost makes me just want to throw them all out. Because the quality of these wireless ones that we used to get are garbage. The keys stick after a while, and like you have to slam them. I started this box by putting just like chargers in it. You see, like this is a charger for a phone, my phone, and like a watch or the AirPods. This goes to the portable air conditioner. I think that one in that room, if not the other one at the other house. Again, just like chargers, remotes. I just wanted a catch-all box for this. And it's probably better to put it in a box in some drawer somewhere, because a box is just, you know, pull it down when you need some stuff. And, you know, basically my rule with a box like this is, like, yeah, you never really go through it until like you can't close it anymore. And that's kind of my rule. Like if I can't get the box closed, then it's time for me to go through it and get rid of stuff. All right, so like I got a stack of this little box. Here's my business cards. I came across this little flashlight that still works. Just things like this, like these splitters. Oh, webcams. At one point, I feel like I didn't have enough webcams. Now, at this point, I think I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 webcams. Those I won't get rid of. They were the cheapest ones, but I really liked these Logitech ones. Like I had 2 of the exact same ones. And then this was kind of like a newer version of it. And then this I had at the Midwest location. And what's cool is this lights up. So if like you're kind of working in dim lit area, that will turn on, or you can enable it, which is cool, which is really cool. And this is just another power adapter. So that's really my, here's what I was looking for. I was looking for this yesterday. So I can see the temperature. So I turned off that noisy air conditioner and it's up to 75, and the humidity's high in here, it's 78. But we've had nearly 100 degree temperatures. Oh, this is like allegedly this is a mini, teeny tiny tripod. Like something like that I just may throw out. I don't know. We'll see. Like that's what happens. You're like, oh, will I use it, will I not? And the opportunity with this new location here is I have the opportunity to purge quite a bit, and I have. Did I see a bug walking through there? Yes, I do. I'll get to him. That's rare to see a bug around here. This place is like really good with that. Like I don't see anything. Must have been mixed in with this stuff. So we get through this stuff, and I talked about purging stuff. I've gotten rid of stuff mainly through Marketplace and eBay. I'm just trying to keep the space as empty as possible outside of clutter. Now, I will certainly make space in the basement ultimately for the fan collection. So this is another story. This is if you follow the channel and you follow the fans or whatever, this is I don't want to say has become a headache, but it's becoming to the part that it's losing its the frustrations I'm having with it is like overtaking the sentimental like value I hold with this thing. I've owned it since '07. It's been in many videos for different reasons, and recently we did a video on repairing the switch, because these have an issue sometimes when you remove the switch to get it back in, it doesn't want to stay. So it kind of came loose, so I kind of rigged it to stay in place, put it together, like it worked, put the fan on, and it just seems to be vibrating. Like, these fans are known to vibrate, these McGraw Edison fans, but it just seems to be vibrating way more than what it did before. So I don't know what is going on with it. I'm tempted to take it to in the garage, plug it into a power strip, put the tripod and camera on it, and just put it on high and just see what happens, leaving it vibrating. Like, will it like blow up, or like what will happen? Anyway, so that's kind of here. So I have those couple fans here. Normally that Pro Power is in that window when the air's off. Okay, so if you are home by yourself, or you're doing some other menial task and you want to hang out with me while I do this, then let's see if I can get you on the tripod. I'm thirsty, so I'm gonna go get something to drink. Not that kind of drink, but I really don't do that. But I am going to bring you with me while I kind of work on getting this stuff situated, and we can hang out. And occasionally I'll talk to you, but if you want to talk to me, certainly drop it in the comments and I'll come back and comment, of course. So I'm gonna go grab my cup and fill it up with some iced tea. I would offer you some, but it's kind of not gonna happen. And as I'm talking here, or working here, I'll probably bring up some random topics. Like, first topic is, one of the topics, there's something that's been on my mind a little bit as I've been trying to grow this YouTube channel. And I'm not, let's first off and say I'm not here to do it for money, you know, but it's more for a hobby, right? Like it's I like sharing what I'm doing, like it all started with the fans, right? And did a lot of that last year, and it's ongoing too. And if I don't do a fan video for a while, I do get people commenting like, hey, like they'll say something like, I watch your channel, I watch all your videos, which is super awesome. I don't take that for granted. It's really nice. It's really nice because I do a lot of different topics, and I know it's not for everybody, but they'll say something like, I watch all your videos, but the videos I appreciate the most are about the fans. When are you going to do more fan videos? So that's going to always be a part of the channel, right? And that is something that I initially set out to do, as I said, and because it's a hobby, and I feel like when you do something like that, you attract more people that are into the same hobby, and therefore you can learn from one another. And I gotta say, it's mostly me learning from others. And if someone out there just even picks up one or two things from something that I share, then that's really awesome. Really awesome. So that being said, that's like the point of the channel. And as I was kind of finding my voice, maybe like a year or so ago on the channel, I thought I would test different topics. Like, hey, do we just have to talk about fans? Can we talk about lawnmowers? Yes, because I like working on those things with Eddie, who contributes on the channel as well. I'm in the cars, so let's show the cars that we have and talk about them and see what people think, right? So I went from that to then, hey, let's start talking about, because people would then ask me, do you just make videos? Like, is that like your job? And wow, that would be really cool if we got to that point where like that is the job, because I love doing this. But no, we're not even remotely close to that. Like I do have a day job, and so I got to the point after I found my voice and was kind of deviating that I started talking more about not exclusively, but I started finding myself, people were asking me the questions like, what do you do for a living? So I started talking about some of that, not specifically where I work, but look, it's 2025. You can easily figure out who I am and where I work, right? So like, there's not really like, it's not like I'm at the FBI or anything like that. But so I started talking about my work experiences in a sense of just things that I've experienced that people really didn't necessarily share with Roku, necessarily like prepare me for, or kind of share in advance, or like whatever. So I a lot of times, or had done videos of just those types of things, like, hey, I wish somebody would have shared this with me when I was doing this, or whatever the case may be. So I started doing some of those videos. Now, what I had found is, and this is a question for you guys, or maybe feedback, is some of these fan videos I had done, especially, and this is what confused me, especially the new fans, like unboxing of Alaska 3733, or unboxing of a Pro Power Plus, Weather Shield, a Utilitech, like modern fans, right? For example, I did a Alaska Cool Colors that had, I think, I haven't looked in a while, the last time I looked it was like 16,000 views. And I thought, this is interesting. And then I do a vintage fan, like with metal blades, like say a Lakewood P23, right? And others have done many videos on those. Others have done videos on the newer fans. And it might get a few hundred views. And I heard another YouTuber, and I'm sure if you're watching this, I'm sure you follow him. Jordan Yu talked about it in one of his videos, that he kind of comically said it, but it is actually very true. He said he does videos on, I think he might have said it in a sarcastic way. It was I don't remember which video it was. It was like a year ago. He said something like, I do videos on modern junk because that's what everybody seems to want, and I use those videos, the revenue from those videos, to pay for the vintage fans that I add to my collection. And I thought that was an interesting statement that at the time, and I thought that makes no sense to me. And sure enough, I experienced the same thing. So where I'm going with this conversation is, I am starting to learn about the algorithms, not even really learn about them, but get a feel for the algorithms, at least that work with this channel. Another channel that I watch that's not related to fan collecting, or kind of like in the same genre that this channel is and other ones like it, is a really cool channel that Eddie and I watch. It's called No Nonsense, No How, and it's basically this guy Chris. He's based in, I think, South Jersey, and this guy is probably one of the smartest people I know. He can basically, anything mechanical or otherwise, he has the ability to work on. So the premise of his channel kind of was, will it run? So he would go get a vehicle that hasn't like run in 30 years, but it might be a 50-year-old vehicle, and will it run? And he himself will either do a fly and drive, like he'll fly across
the country to Arizona, find something on Marketplace, buy it, basically buy tools on the spot, and then spend like 2-3 days getting it to run, and then he and his significant other, Jen, who also has a channel, will then drive across country in it, and the whole thing is like, will it make it? Awesome premise, awesome channel. Like, I would say that's a large channel. Like, that's like a quit your day job channel. And even he, in his videos, as I'm learning this is where I'm going with this, talks about, like, he mentioned in a few videos, like he set up a second channel because the stuff that he was throwing up was messing up the algorithms. And at the time, like why? Like, if you're a really popular channel, who cares if you go off topic? Like, for example, he does all the car stuff, and then maybe he, I don't know, is giving an update on a investment property that they're doing work on. Like, has that on the second channel because he doesn't want to mess up the algorithms. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, and that's like the whole setup of like this conversation is just talking about that stuff. And so what I'm finding is, because now that I have over a year under my belt with this channel, is that it seems to me like what I'm seeing is in my top 10 videos right now are all fans, like all fans, and mostly modern fans. Even if they're videos that I did over a year ago, they're resurfacing as we moved into like May, June, July. So I'm wondering is if people look at them for product, like my next thought is, are people looking at them for product review? So the answer to that is, it's trash. This is, no, it's not trash. So the answer to that is, I found out, kind of, is yes. I did this video last year. It was I made a purchase. It's at a gift card. I made an expensive purchase with a gift card. To me, $80 is expensive for this fan. It's this called this Venti battery, retractable, rechargeable, whatever, oscillating fan, and it's really cool. Check out the video, Venti, rechargeable, extendable, oscillating fan. And it was an early video I did, and I tried to go through it, and what I didn't share on camera was how to extend it. And I got beat up a bit in the comments because people would say, hey, I bought this fan, I'm trying to figure out how to extend it, and you don't show it, your videos would be worthless. And so I ultimately went back and did another video. So the answer, what I was finding is, I think with the newer products, the relatively recent products, at least with the fans, people are going and looking at these videos to see like, hey, I know it sounds crazy, but like, because some of us are like, hey, a fan's a fan, just go buy a fan. And the others of us who are like known collectors are like, I know this one's better, that one's better, I don't need to watch a video on it. But there are people who look at this stuff. And so I have found that I think a lot of the new stuff that gets a lot of views is getting all the traction because of that. It's essentially a review. So people want to know what they're getting before they buy it, or they buy something and want to figure out how to use it, how to clean it, how to service it. That's what's happening. Example is, the Lasco 3733 box fan, right? And if you're not into box fans, it's the most, you go to most stores that sell fans, that's mostly what you're gonna find. I've probably done an unboxing and servicing or cleaning of those fans a number of different times in different ways, but they all seem to get views every time I do it. And I feel like a broken record when I'm doing that video again, but I try to add a different little twist to it each time. So what I am trying to figure out is, how do I diversify this channel? How do I diversify this channel and still get eyes on it? right? One of these fun things, I enjoy reading, right? Unfortunately, because I got a lot going on, I don't read as much as I normally. In the summer, I tend to read more because I'm sitting on the beach when I can. But I love talking about a book. To me, it's like talking about a good TV series. And whoever is near shot of me, I'll put the book down. Whoa, like so and so. I didn't realize they did this. And I read all types of books, from biographies, autobiographies, fiction, nonfiction. But like if it's a book about somebody, well, like. So I thought, I'll use this forum to essentially talk about my books, almost like doing a book report, right? Like you did in elementary school, you get in front of the class and you have 5 minutes to just talk about it. So I've done that, but I get, and maybe the books I read are not of interest to people, but I figured the tags and the key words in the description, there would be enough of an audience that somebody would find it, but no. So I think that's where the algorithm, because I'm working against myself, because I'm already establishing myself with fans, with lawnmowers, with cars, sometimes some fitness stuff. But when I deviate off of that, it's just like it nosedives. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. But it took me about a year to get to the point of having a feel for like what is going on. Now I got to figure out how to bring it all together, because I really don't want to start a separate channel, because this channel is so small at this point. I would rather focus on growing it, even if I have to stay in my lane or my topic, growing it to a point where then I can think about, do I do a second catch-all channel? Now, I would prefer to stay with one channel, and the reason why, and I'm going to go back to my reference, I was going to say my buddy, but as of this recording, I have yet to ever meet him, but I watched so many of his videos and interacted with him on YouTube that I consider him a buddy. Let's just say I respect him a lot. So Jordan Yu's channel, and in many regards, and he said it too, where he says he can see the influence of his channel and mine. He's absolutely right. I would be lying if I said he does not influence me. He's a huge influence on me. And he's also gave me the confidence to start doing this when I did. Little did he know. But what I see with his channel is he has close to, I think, 70,000 subscribers. His channel is also 10 years old, and he churns out probably multiple videos per day. But he goes from doing, say, a review of a fan, to talking about lighting, to doing yard work, to rebuilding an air conditioner, to troubleshooting his vehicle, to working with Christmas lights, to doing the track lighting or rewiring his kitchen, to doing something with a vintage stereo. And he gets views across, like consistent views. So what I'm trying to figure out next is, how do I diversify my topics like he does, but maintain my viewership? And that's really where I am at this point. And it's not a frustration for me, don't get me wrong. It's not a frustration for me. It's more so again, this is a hobby, right? Part of, for me, what makes a hobby fun is trying to figure something out that has nothing to do with your day job or like the responsibilities of life. It's just trying to, have fun with something and figure it all out. So that was a lot, but I was just thinking about this today, and I thought, instead of leaving you to just watch me in dead air, I would maybe just talk about it. I actually, believe it or not, toyed with earlier sitting in front of you like I am now, except just like this, having that conversation. But instead I thought, well, you can either turn me down low in the background and I can be background noise, or I can somewhat be entertaining to you. Okay, so let me know in the comments anything I just said, if it's relevant or you're trying to figure that out, battery. If you're trying to figure that out as well, or you have experience with it, and you can add some guidance. But in terms of like the genre that this channel is, I would say the biggest one probably in this space is probably Jordan's channel. There's a few others that have quite a bit of subscribers. I mean, we don't even have, at this point in time, we don't even have 500 subscribers, but we probably have, I mean, you can see it when you look at this video, but we probably have 400 or so, 400 to 500 videos. And I guess, no, just trying to keep working on it to figure out what it is, right? So again, it's kind of like a hobby. In a way, it's like a game. And it would be cool, I'm not gonna lie to you, it would be cool if, whoa, this is huge. I think I'm gonna use this one because it's so big. I think I'll just use one single monitor. Maybe I'll do that, one single monitor for this. The reason why I like it is because it sits up higher, and I can use this as real estate on an otherwise small desk. This is cool. Okay. Getting back to like, hey, I talked before about like, hey, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing it for a hobby. However, with the product review stuff, like, it would be cool one day to figure out how to earn a sponsorship. Like, I would gladly, like if Lasco wanted to sponsor a video, I would be totally happy to do that. That would be neat. I don't think they would, because likely others out there already would have this type of sponsorship. I haven't seen that. What is very interesting is when I've been, what doesn't belong to this keyboard, right? What would be very interesting to me is, where did the splitter go? What would be very interesting to me is to understand, for example, I watch one of my favorite channels, No Nonsense, No How, and one of his sponsors is dog food. Now, his dog Gus does appear in the video, so I kind of get the relevancy, but like some videos Gus never appears, or it appears at the end just like he lets him out and runs around the yard. It's like, oh hey Gus. But then, but product placement, like Chris will do an actual endorsement, like they break away from the video and it'll be him like in a room, like talking about dog food and whatnot, and which is really super cool, super duper cool, but it kind of doesn't have to do with the content of the video, right? Like, content of the video is getting an old car to run. So I'm curious how he gets to his sponsors and how sponsors happen. And that's just self-education I gotta do, because I know YouTube Studio has all that kind of stuff in there. Alright, so anyway, those are my thoughts. Penny for your thoughts, as they say, as we get this going. Alright, so this is a, so the company I work for now uses Dell, which for years I liked better, because my last company did use HP, and when I switched to HP, I was like, okay. And then my last HP computer working for them, I really liked. It was small, it was lightweight. And then now this company uses Dell. Of course, they use more of the cheapy Dell, so like it's this big honking thing. And I travel for my job a bit, so it's kind of a bummer. But when I used to use Dell 2 jobs ago, a long time ago, we actually had physical like docking stations, like you would plant your computer in. This more or less has like a hub, and then it plugs into a power supply, which you can probably see. And this is what this is here. So I just plugged my 1990s keyboard into it, which is kind of funny. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So there's that. So we're getting somewhere here. I have this. The brand is Votenut, VOTNTUT soundbar. I had this in my physical office at the actual office in the Midwest, and one of my colleagues needed like speakers or something, and I didn't have any either, and she like sent me the link to this. It's cheap. It's like $9 or something, $10, and so I was like, yeah, I'll get one of those, and yeah, it's I really like it because it's small and it sounds pretty good. And then I have on the floor, you can't see, I showed you earlier, two like traditional like side-by-side speakers. Alright, I'm looking for like a USB splitter. I have one here, but I thought I had a nicer. That's the thing, when you start to throw all this crap in the box, it's like through. Floor here, yes. Or maybe not. Oh, yes it did. Here it is. Yeah, this is a nicer one. Well, this only has two USBs, but this is HDMI. This must be to the monitor. So what I'm going to do is not use that one. This I've probably had for 10 years. Targus. It's just a cheapy USB splitter. So what I don't understand is like this dock is the size of like it's monstrous, but yet there's only two USB inputs. That like makes 0 sense to me. It should have like 6, and then it has 2 of the smaller USBs. So instead, I'm gonna plug in one of these in. Which just makes it more of a, I don't want to say hack, but kind of. So there's that. So I'm going to pick. There's times I've gone through it like with like ties and like put all this stuff together, tie it up neatly. When I get like a real desk for in here, I will do that. Just trying to think of where to put the laptop, because this plugs into the laptop. And I had a thought of putting the laptop like not even on the desk, but it's not really long enough unless I stick this on the other side, which I could. Let's try that perhaps. No, that won't work. Oh, yes, it will. So if we do this, so then this hangs to the floor, and then this really is no consequence here. That's that. Okay. So we have keyboard, and I like to leave slack on the keyboard because sometimes you gotta shove it out of the way. You might say, yeah, use a wireless keyboard. I just talked about that. I don't know. I like using my yellowed keyboard that probably work with Windows 95. All right, what's next? Webcam. Let's see. I think I'm going to use, even though I have this really cool one, I think I'm going to use I'm just going to use my basic Logitech one, like one of my original ones that I got, because I really liked it. Not that I really don't like the other ones, but and you know, you work somewhere, places for long enough, you end up getting so much of this stuff. Like I remember earlier in my career, like to get a second charger, like was like pulling teeth. Now when I started this job, just give you two to begin with. Like, what else do you need? And I actually told them, like, do you need us to ship you monitors and keyboards? I was like, no, don't. I have enough of that stuff already. All right, so I'm gonna pick a wired mouse to use here. Which one do I like? Well, I guess I'll stick with the Logitech theme. So I'll use this Logitech. I was just thinking, I remember when like the mice had balls in them and before they were optic, and I do remember after a while they would stop responding and you had to like take the little ball out and like take rubbing alcohol and like clean it and put it back in and it'd be good to go. So what I do is I like to keep a charger in my laptop bag, which is being used in the kitchen right now because this setup was not set up yet. And then I keep a wireless mouse in my laptop bag as well. I mean, the finger pad or whatever you call it is fine, but it's much nicer to have a mouse. I used to have this really cool like miniature wireless mouse, but that broke. All right, I think the last thing to do would be let's see. I think why am I drawing a blank? I think the last thing to do here is we got it. Okay. Okay, we've done it. We have to plug in the monitor. And I don't think it was that one. This is, I don't know what you call this connection. This is to USB, but then I have a straight HDMI, which I should imagine that's what this is. Then I kind of have two rogue power supplies down here. And I'm not sure. I think it's this one. Yeah, because I think the other power supply is just like a universal one that I had probably bought like traveling, so mine broke. Let's see here. Okay, USB 3.0. Okay, here's one for this funny connection. I think when I've done this in the past, I've just like flipped this over. do. I was like, I'm gonna mess up everything. But it's much easier as you just saw there. I can see the power supply input. Alright. Boy, this is heavy. Fix all the wires. Stupid. I didn't use the USB, or I'm sorry, HDMI because it has that other connection. I forget what the input is, but then it comes out on this end to USB. I think we've done that before. And holy cow, I have maxed out my USB connections. Really with it. Like, wow. One left. How about that? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 USB connections into a dock that has 2 inputs. It doesn't make sense. And it's brand new. Okay, so let's try to organize this again. All these cables. Trying to do, as you can probably see, I'm trying to tuck them in here on the stand. I want to tuck them in on the stand so it's somewhat square away looking, but it's doing the opposite now. Keep the mouse free. Keep the mouse can go over the top. We're getting there. There's that. Keyboard. Right. And then I have one of these mice pads. So that. In fact, I think I used to keep 2 of them. Actually, this is nicer. It's bigger. And then believe it or not, I kind of use the other one for my drink. So I think the desk is set. I think we're really good there. Other than having to plug things in. where does this leave us? This leaves us another wired mouse, another webcam. Okay, that's good. And then I have, like I said, over here, we might not be able to see it now. I have another station that I'm preparing to set up for like the other computer, probably in the basement somewhere. Okay, wired keyboard for that location, which would be this one, and I have an adapter for it. And I have a power supply for the other monitor. And then, ooh, I have another wired keyboard. Good. Because then I have 3 Logitech wireless keyboards. So I probably will keep this, it's ridiculous, 4 keyboards. Got this HDMI, which I don't think I need for anything. What I do need is a USB on both ends because I'm trying to connect. I have a surround sound in the other room, and it doesn't have HDMI output. It has USB output. It has one of those funny connectors like this does. But the back of the TV doesn't have one of those funny connectors. Or does it? I can't remember. I have to go back and look at it. Okay, so we're down to 4 mice, 2 webcams, 2 HDMI cables, power supply. This is just a universal power supply. So that, I have the adapters for it because you can connect different ones to it. This is the one I think I bought when I was interviewing for my current company, and stupid me forgot to bring the power supply to my computer for my presentation, and I wanted to at least practice my presentation in the hotel room, and and if I did, I would have run out. Okay. I have two external hard drives. I think one's 500 gigs maybe, and one's a terabyte, and that's when this was a thing. This one, like, you have, in order to access it, you have to like connect it to your router. They're both Seagate, I believe. This is like when computers only came with like, I don't know, like I had one computer at one point that only had 10 gigs of storage, and I basically lived off of this. This was a long time ago though. I don't even really know what's on these anymore, and like maybe it's a project. Maybe it's a project. I don't know if these things are. I bet you aren't even worth anything, because like you can buy like a thumb drive with like so much money in it. So I don't know. I'll put these here. Could be material for a video, which again, talking about what I was talking about earlier. That's content that may not be seen for the algorithms, right? Okay, so this, I have to mount the TV in the kitchen, and this is the Roku remotes that go to it, so we're going to put that in there. Okay. I really don't feel like messing with the mice, the mouses. Now, one quick thing you can do is I try to be good about. Okay, awesome. There is I'll take the battery out. There's one of the little USB things in here. Cool. And then this one has one as well. That's good because that means these are functional mice. Let's remove the battery here so it doesn't go bad or it doesn't leak. And we will keep those mice. And then I have another one that has no battery in it and it has, okay, so at least I do sometimes operate with a piece of brain in my head. And then I have this little battery here. Don't know if that one works. 2 webcams, which are good. They're actually nicer webcams than the ones I'm putting aside to use, but I kind of like, creature of habit. I used the older ones. They worked well. This one with the light on it is really cool. So that can go in that box. The wired mouse, of course, the first time if any of these wired mice fail, we can replace it with another wired mouse. Yeah, I'm really kind of getting to the end of this here. So this box is going to live on a shelf in the basement. This goes to my obviously my headphones. So I'm gonna leave you for a second while I go put this stuff in its respective homes. And the screen will go in the garage. All right, we are doing really good here. Sometimes when you have someone to talk to, things kind of move along. Okay, so I think what we'll do, I talked about trashing all these keyboards that were not wired, but because I have the USB piece to them, I'll keep them. And then my ears will be open to, because like really, if I put them on Marketplace, maybe like $5 for them or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know if they work. So what I'll do is, and they don't take up much space. I'll keep my ears out because I do have 2 kids. I do have family. If someone needs one, they got one. Don't buy one. Okay. Actually, the setup that I have at my office in the not the Midwest. In Michigan, I have a really nice desk set up, but I don't have a keyboard and a mouse. So maybe I just grab one of these wireless ones with the mouse and just bring it there and just leave it there, and if I never see it again, because it breaks over time, I don't care. Like, but at least it's, yeah. So I think I'll do that. Alright, so I'm going to again pop off camera so I can put these in their proper places. So this one has batteries in it. So that's what ultimately can kill these things. That, and if you lose the little thingamajig for it, because I definitely have, I think, more wireless mice than I have wireless keyboards. Yeah, Logitech. And I know one of these I was using at one point. I think I did throw it out because like the buttons, keys start to stick. So they're like the least expensive ones. Alright, so this and this can go. So let me go do that. So I'm going to leave you alone again for a minute. All right. And then this plastic container on the floor here. This just has some personal like documentation in it. That comes and goes between the two locations. So keep that there. This, oh good. This is, I have other pieces of instructions in here. This little tripod. I don't know what it goes to, but we'll put that there. This flashlight is dodgy. I really don't want it, so this doesn't work that well. So I don't know if it's the batteries. It doesn't seem like the batteries. It seems like, oh, there it is. Alright, now it's like flickers. Alright, I'm gonna offer it to Eddie. Like, it's fine. Not that I make him give him my trash, but sometimes he finds uses for things. Like he may say, oh, that's perfect for when I'm in my closet or something like that, like looking for something. So I'll just keep it in the closet there. All right, I have an extension cord over here that I have this fan plugged into. This is perfect for a power strip indoors because it's a flat, grounded cord. So there's power to this stuff here. Well, I'll turn the power strip on. It might be. The monitor just lit up. It's a good sign. Now, I was not really going to do this right now, but I do have So this room has not been repainted, but the paint's in really, really good shape. Except for there's a minor spot here. There's a couple minor spots where things were hung. But what I like to do, if I'm not repainting the room, and I can do it in a way that makes sense, I kind of like to reuse what's up on the wall for what I have. So let's see. There's a serious screw in the wall. I don't think that's gonna work. There's some heavy stuff hanging here. These are light, so I can get small tack nails. Like that goes. That's perfect. Or maybe this one. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so I got that up. Got that one up. What else do I? Oh, you know what? So I got this. Got some cool things. You know, it's kind of cool. You meet some nice people in your life over time, and you get some nice things. But I have a picture that may go well behind me. Now the thing is, this is not, I don't know if it would be centered. This. You have things at different heights. All right. Crooked. Tell me if it's crooked. And then I have, actually behind me, you know, those big, I wonder if those are in the right position for this erase board. They're not wide enough. That would be cool. Although I don't necessarily want an erase board behind me, even though I do use virtual backgrounds. Another erase board. Well, this one. And this one. That one. That's an inside joke. That was written there. So this I had up on my wall behind me at my last job. I suppose I could just put it there. And it's not centered behind me, but I guess it really doesn't matter if I'm using a virtual background. That's cool. Or would it look nicer here? Probably would with this ridiculous thing here. Yeah, this is better here because it's centered. I have like every person ever has their diploma, which is kind of falling. Yeah, I gotta take this whole thing apart. I don't know, I was always funny about like hanging my diploma up, like, it's nice and all, but I don't know, it's not like, look, I have my bachelor's, and I'm not discounting that at all because I worked very hard for it, just like everybody else, but I don't have my master's, I don't have my doctorate or like whatever, so let me let that go. Instead, I won't get rid of my diploma. Instead, I'll hang a picture of me, a fake picture of me running for a first down. I know it's silly. actually made. This may look better. Oh yeah, that looks cool. I'll take that. So then what I could do is I'll do it off camera, is I have a bulletin board and that one erase board. I could put them side by side here. And I think that'll do it. Again, I could put the fake picture of me. I got this like in 1998 or something, I don't know. Clearly I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And it's a picture of my name on the back of an Eagles player, like running with the ball. And you gotta keep in mind that was made in the 1990s, so it was kind of a big deal. Where, you know, I got it as a Christmas gift in a frame, and like there's a company you sent away that did that. Like now you can just like easily do that on your own. And then I have like a photo montage of a friend of mine made for me when I turned 18, and I kept it all these years. This frame's been in better shape. I don't know if it pulls up if I try to hang it. It might. But kind of doesn't go with everything in here in terms of like, yeah, my son's closer to 18 than I am. All right, so what I think I will do is I'm going to put this, my diploma, and the smaller erase board off to the side, because I think those will not get hung up. But then I will take the larger erase board and take the bulletin board and put them up side by side off camera. And then we should be pretty good to go. I have the extra set of computer gear that will go to the secondary setup. I have an extra monitor which will go out, and it will likely go with I'm hesitating now. With the keyboards. So this can come out. You know, if I get a bigger desk, I may go to the 2 monitor setup, but I mean that's like a monstrous monitor that I have right there. So get this out of the way. This Pro Power I've knocked over so many times, or it's fallen so many times. I'm surprised it's with us still. Okay, so those will go in the same place as the other stuff. That fan I might bring to Pennsylvania, or I just may try to experiment with it in the garage. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know what I'm doing with this 3733 that I got new. This 3733 that's canceled out. I don't think I'm going to get enough projects. I don't think I'm going to try to dig into the thermal fuse. So that means it will become a parts fan. But I don't need any of the parts on it for a while. So. Okay, I think that's going to do it for now, for this video at least. Thanks for sticking around and listening to me talk about YouTube algorithms and organize my office space. So the next move for me is to get out of this room, well, turn the air conditioner back on because it's getting hot in here. But this thing is really, really loud. But I'm going to use it until it cancels itself out and then replace it. But that likely won't happen because I don't run the air much. It's just we've had this heat wave. All right. Well, comment, like, subscribe, jump into the conversation at any point. And 79 degrees in here in this room. Behind us is 74 degrees because I got the air moving through behind us. So thanks for watching. Thanks for spending a little time, and thanks for hanging out on this, what I'll call a vlog. See you on the next one.